life. The internet has had a fantastic and sometimes not fantastic way of looking at things now. But this morning we're going to look at how Ugandans have used it as a platform for their businesses and making their products known. And we'll be looking at the pros and cons of online marketing. Hamza Junju and Rita from Remzak are here to share with us this morning. Well, Hamza and Rita this morning from Remzak. Good morning, guys.
Very good
Welcome
morning
to the show.
Thank you so much.
First, briefly tell us about what you do at Remzak.
Very good morning to beloved viewers of NTV. At Remzak, I'm there as the PR personnel.
Okay.
And good morning, Uganda. I'll use that, and East Africa in general, because I know we are being viewed all over the region. So we are from the PR desk, Remzak, Uganda.
What do you do at Remzak?
Well, a number of things that we are doing at Remzak. But actually, when I was sleeping, before I woke up, I think something kept running in my head. I had a dream. There was a long queue around NTV. It was really surprising that everyone is just shouting, Remzak, Remzak. But I think it's a dream coming true that I'm on NTV. And of course, we're here to talk about Remzak and of course, how people can register with Remzak and a number of things that are involved within Remzak. But basically, to talk about Remzak, it's a local and international notice board where we can meet sellers and of course, showcasing different products online.
You said the word notice board. What exactly? Okay. What is the, yes, how does it work?
It's normally a display. At Remzak, we are redefining trade. Simple understanding, trade is the buying and selling of goods. So at this notice board or the display, which is online, we are giving chance to two parties involved in trade. That is the sellers and the buyers.
Exactly.
So the sellers have to display their products so that they are seen by the buyers. Then we do a link between the buyer and the seller, so
you guys are like the middlemen?
No, we are not doing any middlemanship.
Actually, in this, the unique thing about this, there is no middlemanship.
Because you know the disadvantages, I will say, of middlemanship. One of the barriers to trade is pricing. And whenever you allow a middleman to come in there, then you know the price is likely to go higher. Because we know we pay middlemen commission and other things. But for us, what are we doing? We are promoting direct trade. Because the trade is the buying and selling. So we are doing away with middlemanship.
We are directly linking you to the seller. We're just directly linking you to the seller.
Are you providers of a platform, say, for online marketing? If I want to sell my television, I'll go there and say I want 300,000 shillings.
Yes.
So what, in other words, you, because you're linking me to the seller, to the buyer directly. If I get 300,000 from my product.
Of course, at this particular time, we are just starting because Remzak has been online for about 2 months. So we are giving back to community. This season, actually, we are giving out for a full year. It is going to be free of charge. You just post what you want to sell off, and we are not going to charge you anything. All
right. I want us this morning to define online marketing because it has, I don't know if people have different definitions of this or some people have abused it. Since you do part of this, what would you tell an ordinary Ugandan what online marketing is?
Okay, we shall go to the simple things. There are two words in here, online and marketing. But we know very well marketing comes from the word market. Market is a place where buyers and sellers meet. When we link it to the word online, we are doing this through internet.
Exactly.
So we are providing various platforms where buyers and sellers can meet. That's what we call online marketing. You are giving chance to a buyer and a seller meeting online or through internet to do business together as two parties. That is the buyer and the seller.
But of course, a number of companies have come up with different blogs, maybe social media platforms. We have Twitter, so I mean, Facebook, and of course, mentioned by a few, but of course, a number of them. But with this case, we decided to come up with a blog of Remzak. And the unique thing about it, first of all, the classified thing about it. You know, with Twitter, you cannot find classified business like it is with Resmark. This is something totally that is going to be unique, or something that is really unique about Resmark online marketing. And besides that, at least you post whatever you want, and you just get linked to the buyer or the seller immediately.
You post whatever you want, and I'm going to get, you know, how do you protect sellers or buyers? Because, you know, online marketing, I am not a very good, unless I'm buying something from, say, trusted sources like eBay.
But with this kind, there is no risk actually involved. Because first of all, I think something that we would be scared of, and a number of Ugandans would be scared of, trust me, probably maybe if there was exchange of money. But in this case, you are being linked directly to the seller. And
once in a while, I buy goods.
Happens,
once in a while, I buy equipment from eBay or Gumtree or Amazon. And I trust those places because I've been there for years.
Yes.
And I cannot take my product to you because I do not know you. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. What is your guarantee for me that I'll get my product? That even if I send money via PayPal to eBay or all these platforms, I'll sit back at home and know it will be delivered.
So let's get to the difference to what we are doing local and globally. We at Remzak, as you said, we are providing a platform, just linking the buyer and the seller. Now to the seller, we are discussing two parties here.
Right.
To the seller, how do you come into the idea of using the platform? Step one, this is online. So always everything starts with registration.
Right.
You go to our site, which is remzak.co.ug. You come across our blog. There is a registration kind of icon. You first register your details, anything concerning you as a seller. Then we shall give you a chance. We are going visual. Before you sell, you are not like on Facebook. You normally see people putting, I have a house. So we're telling you, take a visual of your products, upload them, display them. That is a seller. So a seller undergoes a formal registration process.
Right.
And a buyer, what is the role of a buyer? I know you've visited our blog. Your role is to view. And we are going ahead to provide deeper details of the product on our platform so that the buyer understands. Two, we are not dealing in exchange of money as Remzak. Our role, number one, is to promote trade, which trade is direct between the buyer and the seller.
So the buyer and the seller will exchange the money?
Yes.
Do you guarantee delivery of the service, delivery of the product, or you, Kati, I don't know how I can even lightly put this. For you, you're like a newspaper. I'll advertise, and whatever happens to me thereafter is none of your business.
Molondo, I know you're a businessman. You are saying you buy. You see, services, it depends on what we are putting up. Our brand is dealing in displaying, linking the two. So in other words, we are not doing a secondary job of delivering your product. At the moment, we are providing info to two parties, the buyer and the seller. We are not doing the secondary job of delivering.
Right.
Our concern is money. You have to be cautious with your money.
All right.
You've read this on our info. You can give us feedback online and at the same time give feedback to the seller. But we are telling you, this is money. Be cautious.
Right.
First meet this person because we've helped you eliminate the middleman. In all scenarios where money has been taken, it is a middleman.
Exactly.
One says, I have a house, but it is from Molondo. Then he deals, he gets the cash.
Yes.
Remember, normally owners, by the time you come up with the idea of selling, you really want the money. So there is no way you'll put around because among the products you have, you said, I'm selling this. So we are saying, for us, we are not doing that. But we are saying, as a buyer, it's money. It's business, it's trade. Be cautious with your money.
You are agents of online marketing. And I know, yes, it's becoming bigger. We have social entrepreneurs now who trade a lot on Twitter, on Facebook. Are there forms that online marketing takes?
As in,
what are the different forms of online marketing? Is it just putting a notice board? How can I best use, as a business, best use that? Are there different platforms that I can use as far as online marketing is concerned?
Well, when it comes to Resmark, like I said, there is, I mean, the products are really classified. If you like probably maybe if you want to advertise maybe a concert, you are just going to go to the page of concerts. If you want entertainment, or if you want electronics, if you want services, or if you want telecommunication, that is where exactly you're going to be. So I think somewhere, that is the most unique thing about this, that whatever you desire is whatever you put in, and probably you just go to that specific specific product that you want to advertise.
And Molondo, as we talk of other platforms, we at Remzak, we are just using them to make you get to know more about our page. We shall not transact on Facebook, we shall not transact on Twitter, but we shall use those platforms to link you to where business is.
Exactly.
Two, if you look at uniqueness of all other blogs, I know you've used many. One, we have an advanced search. What does it mean? You a buyer, you go to our blog. You are free to choose a specific item. We are not giving you to watch everything. By the time you come to our site, you know you want to buy a house. So you go to houses or apartments. So we are linking you direct to that. Then that is to the buyer. Another uniqueness thing about our blog with the seller now, for us we are able to run deals of the day. What does it mean? We are giving a chance to people who have, because at times we get cash there and then. You do your business, you have the money at the pocket, and you're willing to spend it, but it may be on valuable items. So we shall be running deals of the day. And the moment you transact that very fast, we've helped the buyer, and the seller sells it directly, and the buyer uses the money well. Then
in the work that you do, what are the fears that people have when it comes to online marketing? I have my own fears, but let me know. What do your clients tell you?
And of course, when it comes to the fears, most people actually think that maybe linking you to the seller, of course, there is money involved. That is the greatest threat. Because of course, when it comes to money, that is the greatest threat. But with this, I'm quite sure there is no risk involved, because there is no exchange of money in this.
If you look at platforms like Telex Free Marketing, let's first look at such things. Telex Free Marketing, people invest money. I still don't believe that I can sit at home, post something, and someone gives me free money. That's not how I was raised. I was raised to work hard for everything. But in such scenarios, that's why I'm asking you, what do your clients tell you? What fears, or even you in your own work, or looking at other businesses, what are some of the challenges of online marketing?
first.
Like I said, Molondo. Of course, if you look at Telex Free, that was totally something different. You had to invest money and probably post different ads to get something out of that. But this is something different with Remzak. And I actually still say there is no risk involved within a Remzak.
I think it's clear.
It's not about your company now.
Yes, yes.
You are
Online.
traders, you are involved in online marketing.
Risk
What are
number
the
one
challenges?
to trade, and especially in Africa. All over the world they are using this in a secure way.
Right.
How do they do it? Information. We are calling out all Ugandans, East Africans. It's high time we reach that high level. Why do you give away your money when you don't know why? Two, why do you always go in for free things?
For free things.
Yet we know in transacting, there is nothing for free. These are basics of business. We don't have what we call free things. Free goods are provided by nature. But anything money-made must go with money. So at the moment, the major challenges, even the questions, the feedback we get, when you go to the deeper root of it, it shows you that this buyer really doesn't understand the concept. That's why we are going informative. We've left persuasive of simply telling people, do this, do this. We are telling you, buyer and seller meet. Talk into detail.
I don't want you guys to focus on what your company does.
Okay.
I called you here to tell me about online marketing.
Risk
And I'm asking you, what are the challenges of online marketing?
Risk number one.
If you talk about your business, I will stop this interview. So help people who want to be involved in online marketing.
One, risk number one, losing money. But what is the cause? Because we should not just discuss losing money. What is the cause? We are dealing in things we don't know.
Right.
Ignorance.
Excitement, ignorance. That's why, two, another risk, I'll be direct on this, middlemanship. They are the major cause
Brokerage.
of consumer ignorance.
Right.
Brokerage. they convince you that they have the product, yet they are aware they don't have. So locally now, depending on the feedback we are getting, we've realized too, everyone is fearing losing money. People have the money, but losing it for nothing. Then two, they are highlighting that middlemen are bringing high cost pricing, making business harder and harder day by day.
So finally, how can businesses best utilize platforms of online marketing? You know, if I want to get my product out there, what's the best way I can use the internet?
First of all, with internet or maybe online marketing, first of all, at least it's a little bit cheap. It's actually cheap. It's the cheapest way of selling off your product or marketing your product. And then the other thing, it can easily be accessible. Because at the moment, if you look at the statistics, over 80%, I think over 80% people are having smartphones, and probably any person can really get access to the product someone is selling out there. Yeah. So probably maybe either way it is the cheapest, and trust me, it is the best way to go at the moment. It is the trend, it's becoming the trend. Right.
Any last words for our people, especially guarding themselves against the fraud on the internet?
I think your most worry is the risks involved.
Now, I don't like people being told that you can get free things. That's what I don't like. That's what I don't believe in.
That is caution number one. In business and trade, let's avoid believing that we shall get free goods and services. Two, let's be cautious using our money. Then three, we are not going to dwell with online marketing because we believe no business is too small. Yeah. So whatever we have, it is the trend now. Let's go online, sell our products, eliminate the middleman who has been hiking in price, becoming a barrier in trade. So we are telling all people there, let's embrace online marketing because it is the way to go, simplifying linkage between the seller and the buyer.
Right. Let's continue that discussion on Facebook and Twitter at Morning at NTV, and of course go to our Facebook page, Morning at NTV. If you are involved in online marketing, you can also get there and answer some of the questions that our viewers have for you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much.
And the World Cup still continues with its shockers. I was very sad for Mexico, but yeah, life is what it is. When we come back, we'll be talking fixtures of today. Africa is going to be playing probably some of the world's biggest giants in football. Stay with us. Isma Mebanda will be back.
You're watching Morning at NTV with Simon Kasiate, Mabel Kebirunji, and Brian Mulundo.
The average age of the international team is under 18.
The primary role of Team Uganda is to remain to Division 2.
Probably that's the only thing that can make one or two rugby fans smile, that the clubs are doing well.
The players haven't put on they haven't wore the game faces. They're not the animals we saw last season, because Ferguson had the same group of players and he did deliver the Holy Grail, which is the title.
Health in Wellness
is brought to you by Caring Takes Strength, Panadol Advance. When minutes matter, take Panadol Advance. Panadol Advance is a fast pain reliever with Optizop technology. Caring takes strength. Panadol Advance.
Mikwano gyaffe bana NTV ate naddala mu bannaamu muli gw'emizannyo. Muli gw'ebyemizannyo gukomyewo 2:14 ate mutya. Kati ate gukyusiza n'obudde. Gwa 7 gwali gwa 9 ne mugoberera ntusanyuka kati gubongereddeko wano malya g'ebyemisana awo. Osokuguwa taize kubaletire kintu kyonna kalenda ino byemizannyo. Muli gw'ebyemizannyo mupya 2:14 Isima wali alagira Argentina yenjo mukubire dibali omukwano kujja komondo ku muli gw'emizannyo ne kasita kinatuuka eri bano ba Messi okulumba abalenzi bafuga Thiago Silva awo tewali mukwano omuli gw'ebyemizannyo 2:14 pezinke.
Hey there, Mr. Krabs! Are you ready to party?
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it, move it.
Wow! Hello, fellow motor enthusiastics.
Oh, Mr. Krabs!
Isn't there any way for us to return all of them back to normal?
Hey! How do you do that?
The Red Ranger's a bigger problem than I thought.
It's time to finish this thing up!
What can I do to make them love me again?
What are you drawing, Kitty?
Mega Rangers? That's a mega win!
Hello? King Julian, you are truly inspiring. Ow! SpongeBob!
Fantastic!
On the next episode, brought to you by...
At Orange, we know you want to do more on the internet. That's why we bring you happy hour day and night.
On the next episode of Deception.
Okay, to go office.
Okay, Mom. Okay, sit. Mommy.
We've got a common enemy. That enemy is Bataka.
I would rather work with Bataka to stop you.
What?
Listen, what do you really want?
Baby, I already told you what I want. I want you. I want you back. I'm back.
Deception.
You can download movies at the lowest prices and never fast from Orange. Dial *133# to buy a data bundle. Happy hour changes with Orange. Today changes with Orange.
Boda.
It's morning at NTV, and this morning we're You guys look nice.
Thank you.
Cut short.
Thank you.
Today you didn't plan.
Brian, you're putting ideas in people's heads.
No, I'm just saying. You look good. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian.
Did you pass your exam?
Yeah, you were writing an exam.
Sometimes.
I think it was economics. So you failed that one.
No, it was fair. It was fair.
Right.
I've got to say. Probably my lecturer is not watching at this point in time because if she is, then can I make an appeal on national TV? I love that A+, not only B-. Please, you can.
I
am
hand it to me. Considering going back to school, but the thought of processing all that in my head freaks me out. But whoever is mastering or pursuing a PhD, good on you. Yeah, every day you must try and better yourself. This morning, the World Cup, Isma, how close to a tragedy were Brazil before beating Chile?
They were as close as the size of a goalpost because Pinilla, the guy who came off a bench for Chile, could have buried them. He had that shot that rattled the woodwork right at the end of the game before the penalty shootout. So for a moment, my mind just kept running back to 1950 because Brazil, when they were World Cup hosts in that final, they led against Uruguay and then conceded 2 goals to lose the game by 2-1. Now, in that moment, when this boy struck the woodwork, I kept on asking myself, do you know what you would have just done to those 60,000 inside that stadium? It would have been so painful for Brazil, but football is not fair, and that's what Iris tells me about here when she's throwing morals at me. Iris tells you there is no fairness.
The Brazilians pray. I think their prayers.
Nigeria also.
But
did you see them on the pitch before the penalties?
Yeah.
Okay, it was like I was speaking in tongues or
Mexico was praying.
But you know, not too long ago, if you remember, 3 years ago, the Chileans were praying an entire country to help their miners get out of that hole. You remember? And you know, Brazil is used to be one of the most racist countries. Not until 1958 did they allow blacks feature in their team? And when they did, that's the first time they won the World Cup, and they won 5 since. So I tell you, sport is about win. When you win, every story is not a story. And eventually, they did get it done in a penalty shootout, because the game ending 1-1 within the 90 minutes, and then within the extra time, David Luiz awarded the goal, which I thought was a clear own goal for the Chileans there. And then Alexis Sanchez getting the equalizer. But eventually, an extra time where Brazil, I thought, gave it a bit more than the Chileans, because Chile, I think, were more comfortable going the penalty shootout. But when they go to the shootout, how do you miss your first 2 penalties? I've not seen that anywhere.
Do you blame the shooter, or you say the keeper is good?
I think the goalkeeper. Actually, in the moment, because I'd not watched enough of Claudio Bravo, the Chilean goalkeeper, in shootouts than Julio Cesar. But when they go to the penalty shootout, where the goalkeeper is normally the hero, or probably a bad penalty kick is one for the villain, and Brazil had 2 villains who could have walked out of that stadium in tears, in Willian and Hulk, who missed their kicks. I thought that the advantage is always going to be in Cesar, because I've seen him as one of the better ones in the shootout. While the penalties are always a lottery, there are goalkeepers that have told you that in a shootout they'll probably save 1 or 2. Vincent Nyama, for example, for Nigeria. I very well know Jens Lehmann in his days at the Arsenal, and then for German. Very
you could bank on him to
You'd bank on him to save when you need it. I remember 2006 in the World Cup against Argentina. He had a book. He came in with a sheet of paper and had it with him in goal. So he knew who is taking for Argentina. Ayala, he takes on the right, he goes right, and he saved several of them in that shootout. So I thought that in the mindset that Julio Cesar would be in, that was enough. But I think a very poor shootout eventually, because teams don't go on and miss 2 out of 5. And then eventually the villain will only be remembered as Gonzalo Jara, because he missed the last one for Chile, as Brazil won by 3-2. But that was as close to a tragedy as you would come. Brazil got knocked out by Chile, a team that they've beaten on 43 occasions. Chile had only actually beaten Brazil on 7 occasions, and they've been playing since 1933. So that would have been a huge tragedy as Brazil got knocked out of this round. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, still in the Americas, James Rodriguez, my Espanol is not Rodriguez. His name probably some of us have never even heard of him. But hasn't he changed sport? Hasn't he taken the World Cup and Colombia by storm?
I think he has. And when the fix, I think, between Colombia and Uruguay was drawn up back in December, it was going to always be reduced down to Radamel Falcao versus Luis Suarez. Neither is there, because Falcao is injured and Luis Suarez was sent home. Now, out of everything that has happened at the World Cup, this game between Colombia and Uruguay was supposed to be about Suarez. Everyone was supposed to be discussing what Suarez would have done had he been on the pitch. And no one remembers that, because you call him James Rodriguez, the Colombians call him James Rodriguez. James goes and scores one of the greatest World Cup goals. Ball outside the box, chases the ball on his, puts it on his chest, and then turns around with a sweet left foot. That's why I've always thought I need to be left-footed or left-handed at some point, because right-footers don't do these things the way they are not as beautiful. But I think in that moment when he scored those 2 goals, especially the first that will go on and be remembered for several years, and ranks high not only among the greatest goals of this World Cup, but probably the greatest goals since the World Cup started back in 1930. In that moment, Rodriguez announced himself to some people like Kumebo who didn't know. Because I'm lucky that because of the things I do, I've watched him several times. He didn't score that many in the French league last season. I think he scored only 9. And it's because he plays a totally different role for Monaco, setting up Falcao most of the time. But in this one moment, no wonder his coach, the opposing coach, Oscar Tabarez, Uruguay, thinks that Rodriguez is as good as Messi and as good as Maradona, because he thought in that moment he could have turned the game on its head. And when you feel very lucky and privileged when you're sitting in front of your TV and someone scores a goal that will be remembered for hundreds of years, and James Rodriguez, that was a blinder. That was a blinder. Hopefully the Colombians can build from this, because they play Brazil in the quarterfinals. Brazil haven't been playing well, and Colombia have been brilliant. They beat everyone in their group stages. They've won by 2-0 against Uruguay. They should be looking to more than Rodriguez to get as far as they would.
Right.
Yeah.
The Dutch cruised through the group stages. I think I have a friend who says, the Dutch by name is Zidane. But this time, what happened yesterday?
Yesterday, and I know someone here was telling me they were in tears for Mexico.
Brian.
Brian is one of them, and so was Maria just behind the camera, because they thought They thought Mexico should have won, but sport is so cruel. I feel sorry for everyone who is a fan in some of these moments, and I feel so good for all the fans who are celebrating that moment, because after 87 minutes, after Giovanni Dos Santos had given Mexico the lead, they were headed for the quarterfinals for the first time since 1986. Probably, if I was throwing a party somewhere in Mexico, then there's an equalizer in the 88th minute from Wesley Sneijder, and if that wasn't cruel enough that there was going to be extra time, then there's a penalty deep into injury time for Netherlands to win it through Klaas-Jan Huntelaar. Sport can be so cruel.
What a beautiful goal from
Wesley Sneijder.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's had several of those, I think, over his career. He hasn't been playing well in this World Cup. But actually, before that went in, if you remember, Wesley Sneijder had been shooting on goal earlier. He kept on trying. If there's a lesson in life that I saw from Wesley Sneijder, he kept on trying until that one moment when the defense opened up, all the green shirts were gone, and there was only orange to hit the ball. And what power did that hit the back of the net?
And when I was watching that game, somehow, I just told myself, shoot! Like, the ball was just into the air, and I just shouted, shoot! And before I knew it,
and you've changed from Italy to Netherlands?
No, I support good teams.
Costa Rica.
I'm still for Costa Rica.
Yeah. and I think the Dutch will be feeling very confident because they'll play Costa Rica in the quarterfinals.
We're going to beat them with the Costa Rica.
Costa Rica drew 1-1 with Greece, despite being down to 10 men, and then eventually won it deep into a penalty shootout. The North Americans, they are going through 5-3 in the shootout. Big result for Costa Rica. It's the first time they've been to the quarterfinals, so there's a lot of memories. They've got a lot of good memories they can take out.